We are not going anywhere. This live is killing it today. We are setting records. 8.9 thousand viewers we had all at once at one time, guys. We're this close to breaking my record for most viewers in a single live. My record is 149,000. We're at 142,000, guys. So please tap away, get us up to 400,000 likes, share the live. We are going to bring up the next guest. We have 92 people requesting. So of those 92, I hope that all of you are opposition, because if you're friendly, I love you, and I hope you'll continue to watch, but I'm only looking to have conversations with opposition right now. I do host Q&As, and they're normally earlier in the morning, and they're definitely not when I'm on vacation. Okay.
Can you blow Sherry up? Because Sherry wants to look at the makeup I did for her.
I think
And
it
I'm
was the
blind.
Melon Aaron team that brought in the 8.9. Just saying.
You know, it's a good point. It's a good point. Couldn't possibly be the gorgeous view.
And I still halfway can't see.
It is beautiful there.
Oh, I can see.
Oh, cool.
That's so cute.
Oh my God, I love it.
I turned my mommy off.
Azalea, is that it? Azalea?
Yes, it's Azalea.
No, you're
Fantastic.
just nibble.
How old are you, please?
I'm 21.
That's such a cool name.
All right. It is a very, very cool name. Am I a woman, Azalea?
I don't believe you are.
Okay, why not?
Just because I don't feel like, I know like you're saying gender and sex are different. Personally, I don't believe that. Just
Okay, why?
Because I feel like you're born the way you're born, yes. And if you're feeling different, that's kudos to you, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna say not, like, I'm not trying to be homophobic, transphobic, or anything like that.
You were making the claim that sex and gender are the same thing. I want to know why they're the same thing.
Because they are. It's just that's what you were born with, and that's how God wanted you to be, and I don't think it's very right that you're just kind of throwing it in his face.
So I'm getting a different answer than the question that I'm asking. Did you say that sex and gender are the same thing?
No, they're not the
You
same
didn't say
thing
that.
because
I misheard.
yeah, no, I did say that. I'm sorry. I'm all
Okay.
confused now. Yes, they are the same thing. Gender and sex are the same thing. Just because this is my thing behind it is, what does it say on your driver's license? Under M or F? Okay.
I think it's a
And on
plane
the
flying
next
overhead.
thing next to it, yes, that is sex, and then you're saying your gender because of your mentality, correct?
So driver's licenses don't determine whether or not sex and gender are the same thing.
Yeah, that's an appeal to legality.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
That means that you're essentially saying that just because it's legal or just because it's something that's within law, that it is therefore true. But a driver's license, being the legal document referenced here, is not a statement of what is true. It's just a record that would be publicly accessible.
Yes, I agree with that, which is true. It is legal stuff, and this is your feeling is personal stuff, and I I just still don't personally feel like it's right to change your gender, or that there's millions of genders now. That I don't really even quite
Why? What's the harm?
understand.
What's the harm in recognizing that your gender is different than what everyone is telling you?
I just personally feel like if you feel the way you feel, yeah, that's okay, but what's it called? I still at the same time I'm sorry, I'm looking at No, yeah, that's wrong. That's wrong of me to say. It's not right. No, it's not right for me to say that it's not right. But at the same time, I feel like it's not right that you're pushing it onto other people, that it's you feel
That is a pivot. I'm
yeah,
happy to
you
have that
feel
conversation, but that is a pivot.
I'm sorry, let me pivot back.
Brian Andromeda.
Okay, so back to what we were talking about. Let me get out of this little area because this is just making me nervous. Okay, back to what I was talking about. I think that gender and sex are different completely, or not different, the same completely. But what is different is that it's being put out there like, hey, I have genitalia, that is, I have testicles, I have, but I'm a woman. And you women are fighting for your rights.
That's not what we say when we say that we're transgender. We do not make any claim about our genitalia when we acknowledge that we are transgender.
No, I know. You're not seeking approval to anyone, but the question is, am I a woman? Prove me wrong. I said no, and I think you're not. That is my opinion. I am opposite, yes, because I genuinely feel like, oh, hi.
Cecilia, you're just saying words, and your opinions and words aren't based in anything. You're
You
saying
guys are
I
like,
just feel
I'm
like it
sorry,
is, but there's no like
2.8,
basis behind it.
2.7 thousand people watching is making me nervous. Sorry about
I
that.
totally get that. I
It's
totally
just
get
like a
that.
FaceTime with
You're
5
doing fine.
people.
You're doing fine.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But I still think genuinely that gender, like, I just want to understand. I'm going to ask for information. What does it mean to be like non-binary? What is that gender? What does it mean
In
to be?
basic form, it means you're not a man or a woman.
Okay, so you don't feel like a man or a woman?
You're not a man or a woman.
What if one day that like you wake up and decide that, hey, I'm just not good, like, does that mean like you're asexual, like with your genders? Does it, I don't understand
A-
it, I'm sorry.
No,
asexual
non-binary
has to
just
do with sexuality.
non-binary means you're not a man or a woman. Non-binary is also an umbrella term which contains things like gender fluid, which is when your gender fluctuates, or agender when you have no experience with gender whatsoever. Asexual refers to like not being sexually attracted to people. That's not the same thing.
Okay. And I was also wondering, um sorry, I'm reading. Oh, okay. I was just wondering why there is rallies for gender changing in this, but why aren't there rallies for cis people and stuff like that?
Because
Like,
cis people aren't losing rights on account of being cisgender. Trans people are losing rights on account of being transgender. We have to
how are
fight.
they
We have to be
losing rights?
visible. We have to show that we are just normal people. We have to show that we are angry and that we're not going anywhere. Cis
So
people
when
are not losing rights on account of being cis.
Also, remember that these are private organizations. Any of these movements that you see, all of the parades, all of the protests, anything like that, those are run privately. They're not organized. And so, if you want to see some kind of organized protest or collection based upon these things, it would typically fall upon you or anybody like you to set up or establish.
Okay. And when, say, a cis woman or man has come to you and you identify as a woman, right? And
Yep.
do you openly tell them, like, straight up, like, this is my gender, this is I am, these are my pronouns? And how many of those people, like, genuinely follow to those pronouns? How many people, like, if you meet a man, cis woman, do they genuinely respect the pronouns that you are using?
In person, almost everybody.
Almost
Yeah.
exclusively. I don't like. It is very rare that I get misgendered. Outside of this app, it's very, very rare that I get misgendered, and very rare that some people are just like assholes. It's actually typically in the internet where people don't touch grass, that they feel like they can get like a little bit of power by like attacking a trans person, but like it doesn't. Like, yeah, typically people are pretty fucking respectful.
Okay. That, and I was also thinking, I was watching these Candace Owen videos, and do you genuinely feel life threatened by being trans?
Yes. There have been some very, very terrifying moments in my life where people have very much mistreated me, my body, for the fact that I am trans, or that there were changes occurring and people were curious or anything like that. Absolutely.
I hate
Okay.
that for you guys. I love you all.
I am sorry about that. Very sorry.
So yeah, that's why I do these things. This is why I try to educate people. The whole goal is to show that, hey, we are just normal people trying to live our lives. That's it. Please get out of our ways. That's the message I'm trying to send.
Okay. I guess I just needed to be a little more educated in the sense of it being just a mentality thing. I don't totally agree that it is a mental illness, just because I don't agree about that, but I do disagree about just the gender, this gender changing about being a woman. I feel like it's just Jesus, and I'm religious, and I know I'm pretty sure you guys aren't, but I feel like he's definitely
Some of us
put,
are. I'm not. But some, sure, there are plenty of trans people that are very religious.
and I feel like if if Jesus wanted you to be a woman, why are you going to dishonor that? And
Going by your own
do
Bible,
you feel
assuming that
guilty?
your God is real, your God made me a woman. I just happen to be a transgender woman, not a cisgender woman.
I would just point out like this is the thing that because people do ask about this. So I would ask, like, do you believe that God gives us all our own unique challenges for us to overcome?
Genuinely, yes. Then
So do
if
you think
there
it's
were,
possible that God gave us this?
personally, I don't. I feel like
I
it
mean,
might
you
be
think that
from
God can
other
give us
desires.
challenges, but you think He draws the line at transgender people?
I think, yes, he gives us all challenges, of course, but it's not necessarily drawing the line for you guys. It is
But
definitely
you are.
just disrespectful in the sense of he made you who he wanted you to be. And there's a lot of desires, and a lot of, now social media is making it very known that is welcomed, and it is welcomed. But in a Catholic point of view, personally, it's kind of just throwing it in God's face.
In a Catholic point of view, God gives us all challenges. You cannot speak for God, so you cannot tell us whether or not God created the challenges that He did give us. So I find that it would be like more of like speaking, like it would be definitely taking his own word in vain and trying to attempt to make a statement that He wouldn't do this. But on top of all of that, Catholics have not exactly had a great history of respecting the sanctity of the positions that they've had. So I don't think that like using Catholicism as like a trans people not cool or trans people wrong for or disrespectful to God would be like a it would be pretty disingenuous.
Also, like
I'm
as a
not
general
trying, of
Christian,
course, to speak for God. I'm just reading
You
from
said
what
you
my
said that
learnings
that
from the
you didn't think He
Bible.
would give
it's
us
true.
this test.
No, I
It's
did
true.
not.
You
You're
You
just
just
did.
did.
You
You
said
just
he.
did. I
You said
asked,
you
do
would
you
draw
think
the
it's
line there.
possible? I
I said
asked
I
you, do you
did
think it's
not think
possible
he
that
was
He would give
going
us
to
this
draw the
test? And
line
you said
there.
no.
I just said it was disrespectful from my beliefs,
But
throwing
that's not what I
the gift
asked
that
you.
he's
I
giving
asked you, is
me.
it possible that God gave us this as a challenge? And you said no.
Gave it to you as a
If
challenge.
God actually exists and He created the heavens and the earth and He was able to grant that there was a woman who never had any kind of anything was suddenly able to get pregnant, all of that is feasible to you. There's some guy that fucking split the Red Sea. There's a guy who built a wooden barge that's held up against the flood. All of that is feasible and possible to you. But the concept that God made some people transgender isn't. That's a stretch. Like I don't see like where it is that all of these things are feasible, but this one wouldn't be based on what God could or could not accomplish.
Of course, yeah. The whole, like, of course, those are analogies back in the Bible of Moses, and those are all analogies, of course. And
The
the
birth of
fact is,
Jesus isn't.
I'm sorry. I'm
Mary getting
sorry.
pregnant isn't.
Is the Virgin Mary an analogy?
no, I'm talking
Yeah,
about
exactly.
Moses
So
spreading
that's
the sea.
feasible to you, but being transgender is not. That's feasible for God to accomplish, but giving somebody the challenge of being transgender as their test for life, would not be feasible.
What if one day you wake up and decide randomly, hey, I want to be a guy again? Then
What if I never do? That what if means nothing to me.
but I'm asking you.
I have spent years and years like this. I've spent years and years wishing to be like this, and then years and years happy like this. So your hypothetical of what if? What if somebody comes down in a business suit from the heavens and is like, actually, we kind of made up God as like a bullshit test, as like a little bit of a prank. Do you see how that what if doesn't mean anything to you? Your what if doesn't mean anything to me.
Okay. And if like what if there was, I know you're saying what if doesn't matter to
It
you,
doesn't.
okay? And this isn't going to be like one of the what business suit. This is going to be one of those what ifs. I'm just saying, what if he came down to talk to you and he told you everything? What if he came
Yeah,
down and talked to you? What if
I
like
would actually
when
probably,
Noah built the
I would
ark, when
probably
he
have a
came
lot
down
of
and talked
words.
to Noah, what
I
if
would have
he
a
did
lot of
that to you?
unkind words for him because he's
What
a
if
man
aliens
that
broke
has
into
the
my house tonight?
he is the man that is allowed children to be unalived from cancer. He's allowed horrific acts to happen to other people. He's
What if
allowed horrific religious wars occur in his name with zero divine intervention. Yet he wants to come down to prove to little old me that he exists. I would like, just even if you could prove that he existed, there is nothing whatsoever that would prescribe that I should follow his moral guidelines. Nothing. I don't care if I'm disrespectful to him because he has not been respectful to us. So even if he did exist, I would not care.
And I think that is exactly where you're missing out, is because your lack of faith
No.
in
No. Oh,
yourself,
no, no, no. Oh, believe you me, I have
and
faith. I'm a very spiritual
in
person. I'm a very, very spiritual person. So you're not going to sit here and tell me that I lack faith. What I'm telling you is, even under the condition that he did, that doesn't mean that I need to absolve my own fucking moralities to follow his. There's nothing whatsoever to substantiate why his moralities and what he believes as a subjective being is what should be followed. Because right now he has a difficult time following whether or not unaliving children is okay. He has a really difficult time drawing where that is a good thing or a bad thing.
okay. And I'm sorry, but I still don't agree with you about that. And I'm reading these comments, and yes, people,
I grew up Catholic. I can
yeah,
attest that everything Andy
he
is saying
did.
is 100% right. Like he. How are you gonna say like, okay, well, it's not okay. It's not okay for abortion to happen, but if God does it, it's okay. If God decides to wipe out the entire world with a flood, that's fine. If God decides that in order to keep His son alive, all these other baby boys in wherever the fuck they were, Bethlehem, Jerusalem, whatever, have to be unalived. If that's like, that doesn't make sense. How can God say, "Oh, well, yeah, well, abortion's not okay," but then God can do it, and it's, "Oh, great, thank you, God, thanks for doing all this good stuff for us." It doesn't fucking make sense. It's not consistent. God is not a consistent person. God is not a consistent being. He doesn't exist, and if he does exist, he's a piece of shit. I grew up Catholic for the first 18 years of my life. I went through all of that: baptism, confirmation, confession, Eucharist, all of it. It's a bunch of bullshit. If you have your religion, that's cool. But the minute your religion extends beyond the walls of, this is my body and how I'm going to live, and this is you, now you have to live the way I am, you have to follow the God that I have, that's where I have the problem.
Yeah, and that is agreeable. Yeah, I'm not trying to put my religion onto you guys. I'm just saying that's from my point of view of a Catholic child, of my point of view. That is, of course, why I am here having this conversation with you, is to share my point of view, and I am accepting your point of view without disrespect in any way. I'm trying not to, at least.
You're
I'm
not.
sorry if I do.
I was also raised Catholic. The way I see Catholic is we accept everybody and love everybody except those who don't do exactly as we say. And that doesn't make any sense to me.
And I feel like I might have been raised in a different Catholic home, because I feel like you love everybody no matter what. But
If
there
you could
might
do me a
come
But you
favor,
don't.
extent.
phone up the politicians who currently create like anti-LGBTQ plus laws, and they ground those like laws in like their religion. Can you phone them up and tell them that they're doing it wrong?
About them, they're doing it wrong because they're just totally
Because
just.
they're using their beliefs and trying to harm others with it. Yeah, can you phone them up and make sure to tell them that? Because like that definitely is not like loving everybody.
Actually, I'll give you that. I'll give you the Catholic Church is supposed to love everyone. That's what they tell everyone, right? They love you unless you have an abortion, unless you're an unaliver, unless you're gay, unless you're trans. In that case, unless you're the way we want you to be, then we don't love you. We love you. We don't love the sin, which is essentially saying they don't love you because they don't want you to be the way that you are.
Exactly.
No,
I just
Yes.
it is like
not about being a gender. We don't accept you for being not a gender or abortion. The part where we draw a line about abortion is when you're pulling out leg after leg with
No, I've heard
that
no
is
abortion
wrong.
whatsoever ever.
Yeah,
That's the
you're
stance of the
drawing
Catholic
one line.
Church.
That
You're
is the
drawing one line
Catholic
first.
Church. This is mine. That is correctly wrong.
What, your
Yeah.
Catholic Church is different than the other Catholic Church?
Yeah, Catholic Church is all the same, okay? But
Okay,
my
hold on.
opinion
Yeah,
about
so how
it
is your
different.
what?
How
How
come
is yours
Wait, you're
different than the
Catholic?
rest?
since I am
Are you
Catholic, since I am a
So you're
Catholic, I
Catholic.
agree with anything and everything that the Catholic Church does. That does
Cool.
not right.
So
I don't
you
agree
are
with.
Catholic. Are you Catholic? Do you agree
Yes.
with the Pope at least? Do you agree with the Pope?
And some of his things when it comes to abortion at
So you agree with the Pope or you disagree with the Pope? Is the Pope not in your religion basically the speaker for God? Do you agree with the Pope? Yes or not?
I believe in God. I
In your
believe that.
religion, the Pope is the speaker for God. In the Catholic religion, the Pope speaks for God. So I'm
No,
asking
I
you,
don't believe the Pope
do you believe follow
speaks
the
for
Pope?
God.
Yes or no?
I don't
That is
believe
what the
the
Pope
Pope
is elected
speaks
to
for
do. That
God.
is what the Pope is for in the Catholic religion. So I will ask you again. Do you believe what the Pope says is true? Yes or no? Because if you do, the Pope actually has stated that they agree with everybody in the LGBTQ and has also stated that we should support them.
The Pope, I don't think he has ever said that, and I would love to see a video.
He's been pro like
Yes,
gay
the Pope
marriage
had.
shit before.
Well, gay marriage is like totally like that's okay. Like, what is so
And
wrong
that's
with gay
great.
marriage?
So go ahead and phone up the constituents who are currently, or not the constituents, the representatives who are currently attempting to create legislature, like trying to bar or like vote against like queer marriage and shit like that, like that kind of stuff. Like I don't know if it's like that you think that you're practicing it correct and they're incorrect, or like what you think that. But that's the statement that was made here by Abby just a moment ago. That like you can believe what you want, but the moment you make it other people's problems, that's where the issue lies.
I totally agree with you, and I feel like within the trans community, making it other people's problems is also where
No,
the
see, here's
problem
the
lies.
All right.
but
So
here's the problem.
how have we made it? How have we made it your problem?
Because you're pushing it and pushing it
Where?
onto other people and pushing
Where?
it onto other people.
Where?
What do you mean where?
Where is it being pushed?
Everywhere. There's social
Because
media
guess
outlets,
what?
there's
This
TV
live right
shows,
here, this isn't pushing.
there's
This is just
movies,
having a conversation.
there's
Sorry, what?
there's
So there's
movies,
movies
there's
that
TV
feature trans
shows,
people, and that's wrong? How is that?
there's
How is
books,
movies
there's
featuring
what
trans
else?
people
There's
pushing?
documentaries, there's what else?
Azalea, I
All
asked you a
these things you don't have
question.
to watch.
Azalea, I asked you a question. How is trans people existing in a movie pushing it on someone? Are we allowed to exist?
Of course you're allowed to
So
exist.
why can't we exist in movies without you just calling it pushing it on someone?
You asked for an
That's what you
example.
just
I
said.
gave you
That is what
multiple.
just came out of your mouth. A
You asked for an
documentary. We
example. I
can't even
gave
have
you multiple.
documentaries about ourselves without it being pushed on other people. But that's just media. We just exist in media. That's not pushing it on you. You just can see us. That's not pushing. That's just visibility.
realize the question in front of you is, are you okay with the fact that you basically want us to go back in the closet and hide, which we're not going to do. I want to make that very clear for everybody here. We'll make it clear for you. We have no intents to go back and hide. So, like, we either need to accept the fact that we're here and get over that, or accept the fact that you have some issues and go off of that.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I still definitely think that there's two genders, and sex
Oh
and
my
gender are the
fuck.
same. I still think it.
No, they're not. They're not. You're literally going with God over science.
And then I guess when everything happens, when he reconciles, then we will know
won't.
who the saved ones are.
He won't, otherwise he's a hypocrite.
I
How is he
think
going to
if
judge
you go
us?
back
How
and
is he going to judge us
read
for
it and
sinning when he's
understand
it's
why
okay if he
did
takes
all
out the
of
entire
things that
population?
he did, then you would truly understand. But
My person, I grew up Catholic. I understand what God did and didn't do. Whether it's an analogy or not. He yeah, we can go back to say, okay, Noah was an analogy. Adam and Eve, an analogy, okay. But the baby's getting killed because Jesus was born, that's not an analogy. That actually happened. The plagues in Egypt, that's not an analogy. Those actually happened. So it's okay if God does things, but then it says it's not okay if we do the things that he's allowed to do. That's hypocritical. How are we going to go to hell for that? When he's okay, he can just do whatever he wants. Because he's God?
because he knows I'm not going to be
So
the
if
one.
he knows
not,
everything,
like I
then
said,
he
I'm not
knows who's
Pope,
going to
I'm
be
not
trans
God
before they're
speaker,
even
like
born.
Andy said, I'm not to God speaker. Obviously.
But if he knows everything, okay, so there's two scenarios if he knows everything, right? One, and he obviously he made everything, right? God made everything, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So there's two options, right? So one, obviously he knows whatever's going to happen. He makes everyone. So either he made trans people trans, or if you see trans as a sin, God made the devil, who made the sin, who made people trans. So either way, God knew and made the person trans, and he knew that from the very beginning of time.
God knows the things that are happen. He doesn't control you in your mind. He
No,
doesn't.
he doesn't, but he knew it would happen. And free will also can't exist if God knows everything. Because if God knows everything, right? But my options are choose chocolate or vanilla ice cream. Well, he knows I'm going to pick vanilla ice cream. He knew that from the beginning of time, so free will doesn't even exist.
And he knows the battles that you guys are facing. He knows
from the beginning of time.
From
so
the
he knew I
beginning
was
of
going to be
time,
trans
like he
the
said.
beginning of time. He knew Adora would be trans from the beginning of time. Andy, Hot Dog, Two Spirit. We knew we were all going to be trans from the very beginning of time.
And that is like the apple in the analogy of Adam and Eve. He knew it all along, and it was your decision to do it.
So how can it be a sin? No, we weren't. We didn't. Okay, so people who have gender dysphoria, it was their decision to have gender dysphoria. People with depression, it was their decision to have depression or anxiety or other various mental disorders, illnesses. No,
or is
it's
being
not.
Different gender
Wait,
mental illness like depression?
Nope. Nope.
Didn't the devil convince them to eat the apple, which gave them free will? So I mean, like either way, God still knew it would happen. But like,
the devil, he doesn't control the devil.
The devil. Just to make sure, like we're correct on this, like your concept of the devil. Who created that?
There is good and there is bad.
Yeah, but no. So now your concept is you're going to say your God is all good. So for your God to be all good, how did it create evil? For something to create evil, it must also be evil or know the concept of evil. So it must make a reaction to create that evil, making it thus evil. So how is your God all good?
He is all good because the devil was once an angel.
How? Can you explain to me how your God is all good when there is literally parasites on this world that literally eat the eyes out of children when they're born? How can a quote-unquote good guy make a creature to do that to people?
And who are you to say it was God who made that? Like how Andy went off on me for saying, who am I?
Made things? Wait. You're all-powerful God. The only being on earth to you is the only thing that can create human and man can only be the only thing that can create, other creatures, must have created these creatures. There's no other thing that could have created them under your view, being that God is all powerful and the only all powerful being.
Just like how lions eat animals. It's literally the same thing. We're all prey. We're all predators.
So you're all
That's not
powerful, all
about
good
God.
God. You're all powerful, all good God created these evil things. So you're saying an all good being can create evil things and not be evil. That is a very bad fallacy in your mind. You cannot do that. A
I am
thing that
not
makes
trying
evil
to
things
speak
in
for
that
God. I
concept
am
is an
just
evil
saying
thing.
He
Here's the
is all
thing, just
good.
to clarify, a thing that makes evil things by that concept is also evil. Okay, so you cannot claim that a thing is that something that creates evil things is also all good. It is not something that can be done. It isn't. It is a fallacy. It cannot happen.
Okay.
You on this point because you decided to take
Another
your
question.
religion. Why am I arguing on this point? Is because you decided to take your religion and try to use that to justify how you feel about others. And that is not what you should be doing. Yes, you can have your religion, but the minute that you take that religion to try and justify you oppressing others is when I feel that I can take my knowledge and use it to turn your religion inside out. Because I can easily take anything in your religion, make it to where it's not a reality. Because guess what? Everything in any religion can easily be broken down to not being a true fact. So here's the fun fact for you. Stop using religion to justify your bigotry and actually be a human being and actually have some compassion.
And I honestly disagree with you again because why are you saying that? How come I'm doing this and speaking for God, but yet you're doing the same thing but talking down to God? I'm not speaking for God. I'm saying with my beliefs, which
Because
I
that's your
Hold on.
mouth.
In
strive
anywhere, in
for
anywhere in
once I
my
talked
sentence,
about by
did I
justifying
say
this
Did
and that.
I say anywhere in my sentence? This is proving to me you weren't listening and you were waiting to respond. Because that's the problem here. You
You were
didn't hear a
trying to
word
break
I
it down. You're
said.
trying to
I
break
didn't
down
say I
every religion
spoke
and see if
at
it's
not
wrong.
one point in time. Did I say I spoke for any higher power? Okay, not once in my sentence. So to me, that tells me that you were not sitting there and listening to what I said. Everything I said went in one ear and out the other, and you were just waiting to respond. And if you continue to do that, you're never going to actually get anywhere in life. And you're going to continue being a horrible individual with the views you have, pushing them upon others. And that right there is not something that you should go doing in life. So instead of sitting there pushing views, take a second, learn something, maybe consider somebody else's view, and actually, progress forward in life. Instead of sitting at your wall, sitting there bumping your head against it, and not realizing how horrible things that you are doing. Take a second, listen to the people around you. That's all I'm asking.
And I have been listening to you the whole time you've been talking, and along with Abby and Andy and everyone else who's been talking to me. I have been listening, and I literally told them in the beginning of this conversation that I do agree, and I'm sorry that they go through the battles that they go through. But yet again, the question is, am I a man or am I a woman? Or am I a woman? And they asked for my opinion. I gave my opinion. They continued to ask questions, and I shared what I felt out of my own opinion. And I feel like I am allowed to have my own opinion, just like you are allowed to have yours. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just giving you allowed your opinion.
How do you feel bad that they go through this? How do you feel bad that they struggle with what they struggle with when you are part of the issue?
Because
You are the issue.
Just a moment ago, you just like last time I spoke to you, just a moment ago, you literally said I like trans people make it everybody else's problem when we exist in movies and
you
documentaries.
didn't listen to me, and that's
No,
the
yeah, no,
thing.
I did. You specifically said we make it other people's problems. I said how. You said you push it on other people. I asked how. You said because we see it in movies and we see it in documentaries.
Because
Let me
we see it in the streets.
full
We
preference to
see
what
it
you're doing here.
pushed onto
I'm
other
going to give you an
people.
actual historical
And
preference
let
to
me
what you're
give
doing.
you
So
an
maybe this will
example of
put you in a
when it
light
was
here.
pushed onto somebody. When it's
You,
Yeah,
you
but
pushed
do
might
you
want to
understand
you
what
onto
might
you're
you
doing
might
is
want
Hold
to
on.
dig
Can
some
you hold
tunnels.
on? Can you let her respond? I want her to finish her sentence. Go ahead,
okay.
Azalea.
let me think about what I was trying to say again, because he
Yeah,
could go
I'll
ahead. I
remind
can't
you. A
remember.
moment ago, you said we make it other people's problems by existing in movies and existing in documentaries.
Okay. And the reason why I said that, and the reason I said that was because there was this one instance where we were watching a show, and it was, yes, I put it on, and it was a show about how there are these things happening in life where it's these transgender people who are going out and then changing their bodies, you know what I mean? And transgender people, not I don't know,
What
people who
show?
are trying to change
You're
their
us. You're us. Okay, go on.
it's like a YouTube channel show thing I watch, and she was
So
saying that the amount of suicides happen after the
James,
fact
the expert on TikTok. You
transgender
have to say
persons
self-unaliving.
have gone through transition, that
sorry, what? Sorry,
the
what?
suicides
Watch your
happen
language while you're on here.
afterwards.
But can you repeat that last point? You can't say the unalive word, so you have to say like self-unalive or something like that. But go ahead and repeat that last thing.
Oh, okay. There was a study that showed that most transgender people have unalived because after the change they've regretted it.
No. So the current
Not
And
even.
studies show that there's 42% of trans adults attempt to yes, but that's not because they regret their transition. And also, it's because of societal acceptance. But like, what does that have to do with the question I just asked you about like how it is that we're making it your problem by existing in movies and documentaries?
I'm
That there
sorry, I
was no
thought that
connection
one
between my
answered it.
question and your answer.
I don't think ridiculous is the statement that's made. That's the
I no,
problem.
I really want her to actually think about what it is that's being said. I don't want this to be like a boxing or anything. I want this to be like a specific thing that she said that I want her to actually like answer, because this is something she's actually said. Like chew
I
on
feel
those
like
actual words
it's
there.
because there has been times in this is relating to your question. There's been in movies, and you know how little girls are and little kids are, they look up to the movie stars. And um I feel like it is turning their decisions that like, hey, how come she was a man and now is a woman, and then bringing it on into actual life, and then just telling everybody, hey, I then being transphobic towards it. And I feel like
We're pushing it
she
on
there
you by existing, by being perceived. We're pushing it on people. So is it better that we just are not perceived? Is it better that like we just stay out of public sight?
no, of course not. It's not
Well,
saying
then
that
what?
you
Then
should
how
stay
is
out
it
of
that we can
public sight.
participate in normal life, like being movie stars, without it being some like evil agenda to turn trans kids or people like kids trans? Like, how can we actually just exist in society like everybody else?
If you are like everybody else and stop
Yeah. So then
like,
why can't we go on? Why can't we just go in movies without you calling it like pushing it? Why can't we actually just be movie stars? Why can't we be on TV shows? Why can't we be visible on TikTok without you just calling it pushing it? Like we just exist.
That's what you said. It's in the streets. Like you said, it's on the streets. So like forget.
I really need to understand like how is it that we can both be like how can we exist in life without you calling it pushing it? How can we be like movie stars without you calling it pushing it?
because I feel like it would be definitely more acceptable if you guys weren't making it seem like, hey, we're transgender and this is us, and yeah, like you're proud to be who
It's
you are,
more
but
You
acceptable if
are.
we don't talk about our
parading it in the
experience.
parades and parading it and having a whole month
No,
and
wait,
this
no,
and
no,
that,
you're
and it's just
Azalea, you're pivoting. Hold on, Azalea, you're changing the subject again. You talked about TV shows and documentaries, and that's where I am with you. So how did she leave?
It's gone.
The pivoting was why I wanted that answer so fucking bad.
For the other people that are in here, I just want to make something very clear. So the same argument I could make the opposite way because it's a ridiculous argument that, oh, okay, then straight people are pushing straightness on everybody. Because think of all the media that's out there that's all straight focused. You could make the same argument backwards. That was a ridiculous argument, and that was the reason that I thought that the person would never ever have an actual argument to that fact.
All right. On to the
He
next, I
also
suppose.
alluded to us getting an entire month, meaning Pride Month, which I thought was a little. Ugh.
Okay, guys, we have shattered so many of my records today. We had 8.9 thousand people watching at one point. My previous record for total views for a live was 149,000. We have 182,000. That is amazing. Thank you so much, everyone. 682 new followers. If you are enjoying this, please tap that little red plus right up there. Give me a follow. I go live twice a day, almost every day. I have amazing panelists. My panelists are also here with me in this pool right now, some of them. So if you're enjoying this, please give me a follow. All gifts are appreciated. 5% of all the gifts that I receive will be donated to charity. I post those receipts weekly in my Discord. If you want access to my Discord, subscribe to my channel either up here or down here. That is a lifetime membership. It is a safe space for both trans people and allies to the trans community. We're going to bring up the next guest now, and I am looking for opposition only, guys. So if you're friendly, please don't request. I am not looking to do Q&As right now. I am not looking to debate the way that I do my lives. I'm only looking to debate the topic at hand. Hello, Megan. All right. Well, thank you so much for the cat paw. Megan, you with me? Hello? Hello, hello? All right, I got to drop you, Megan. Sorry. All right. Thank you for the cat paws. Kate is a subscriber, which means there's better odds than not that she's a friendly. Oh, Kate did not connect. Oh, there we go.
Hey, can you
Thank
hear
you,
me?
Alex, for the sub. Hello, Kate.
Hi, how are you?
Doing all right? How old are you, please? All
How
right.
am I? I'm 21.
Fantastic. And am I a woman?
That is up to you entirely. I won't say that it's up to me how you feel, you know?
Fantastic. I am looking for opposition. Did you have any opposition
I
point you
do
wanted
have
to
a
make?
small opposition. I just don't want to get attacked. I'm not transphobic. I just want to go into that saying that I support the community, you know? I know. Oh my God, please don't take this wrong. I don't want to hurt your feelings.
Go for it. You're in
But
the right place to say
okay,
exactly what you mean. I
okay,
will, whether or not we get, we match energy. So if
good.
you have super negative energy, we're going to have super negative energy. But if you don't,
So
then we're going to have a conversation.
I do not believe that you are a woman. Well, actually, I don't know this about you, so I'll ask you first. Were you born with a womb?
I was not.
Okay. So to me, gender is all in the genetic makeup, and I think transgender is its own gender. It's like a third gender, if you know what I mean. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
I do
So you're
understand what
not
you're saying,
born
but
with,
here's,
huh?
I was going to say, here's why I think that you're wrong, Kate, because
Okay.
sex and gender are not the same thing. Sex is biological. Sex would relate to having, like, to your genitalia, your chromosomes, your gonads, your neurological sex, your hormonal sex. Gender is psychological and social, meaning how you present to society, how you are perceived by society, and your innate sense of self, some combination of all
Oh,
of that.
I didn't know that.
No problem.
Also,
I will say
transgender is
though,
not an actual. Transgender is not a gender,
Right.
so it couldn't be a third gender.
well, transgender, transgender. It's
Right.
in the name.
So
You know what I mean?
transgender means is it means that your sex assigned at birth and your gender identity don't align. So it's describing your relationship with sex and gender. Right. Thank you for the cat boss law.
Okay.
It's not telling you what gender you are. It's not telling you what sex you are. All it's saying is that your sex and your gender are incongruent.
And I also just want to put out there people that use their religion for that shit. Excuse my language. People that use their religion to back this up is I'm a Christian. God loves everybody. God loves you. God loves everybody. So it's wrong, you know. But I will say I don't believe because
I didn't catch
if
that last bit, Kate.
huh?
I didn't catch that last bit, Kate.
Oh shit! I forgot what I said.
So you were talking about how God loves everybody.
Oh
Yeah.
okay.
So you were talking about how God loves everybody.
Yes, I was saying
Yeah,
people who use their religion as a reason to say no, you're not a female,
Kate.
is
Okay, so Kate, hang on 1 second, Kate. I had to mute you because you have an echo. I'm not kicking you. We can continue to have a conversation. What I need you to do, I need you to go back to your phone's home screen and then come back into the app. Don't drop. Don't close the app. Just go back to your phone's home screen and then come back in. That'll clear the echo. All right, now come back into the app and you should be good to go. Now you got to unmute and we should be good.
you go?
All right, we're good.
Okay, sorry about that.
No problem.
What I was saying was people that are using religion as a reasoning as to why you're not a female, that's BS because God loves everybody. It's literally that's irrelevant. But I will say if you transgender, you said gender is like you said it's psychological, right? It's the way you present yourself.
Gender is psychological and social, yes.
Okay. So if you feel like you are a woman and you present yourself as a woman, but you don't carry the feminine reproductive organs, I do not believe you're a woman. I don't. But I'll tell you you're a woman though, if that's what you want to be called. But I don't believe, if that makes sense.
Okay, so why exactly am I not a woman? Sorry, I missed that part.
Oh wow. I feel like I'm gonna offend you. I don't want to do this. I don't want to attack
Kate,
you. I was
you're
just
good.
saying.
You're good.
Okay.
This is the conversation that I'm looking to have. You're good.
Okay. So I feel as if like if you're not born like me, I'm pregnant right now. My sister just actually I'm at the hospital. She just gave birth to her baby. I do not believe that if you cannot naturally give birth to a child, you are not a
What do you mean
woman.
by naturally?
Naturally, as in if you're not born with a womb, if your body did not come with that at birth,
Okay.
I think,
Okay.
like you said, gender is
So,
different, sex also. But
are you aware that 1 in 5,000 cisgender women are born without uteruses?
no way.
Yeah, 1 in 5,000. It's I mean it's rare, but it's enough to the point where you know someone. I can pretty much guarantee that you know someone who was born without a uterus, whether they told you or not.
I don't. I've asked. I mean, that's not a question I ask, but I mean, everyone I know is having
Again,
babies.
the statement there was whether you know it or not. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Is that most people aren't going to come out and be like, guess what? I was born
I
without
don't
a
have a
uterus.
uterus. Yeah, right.
Especially when people have the, and I'm not saying this to be rude, but especially when people have the views that you hold, as you've already made clear. And I'm not trying to be rude about this, but realize that people out there have views that you hold where you're thinking that, guess what? If you weren't born with a uterus, then you're not a woman. So if you were born without a uterus and you're hearing people going around saying that, guess
Right.
what? I was born without a uterus, so I can't be a woman. You think people are going to just walk around being like, guess what? I was born without a uterus?
Oh, well, okay, accurate. Accurate. I
So
can't
right
argue
there.
that.
So here's my point to you. Of course, you probably do know people that were born without uterus, and they're probably not going to come out to you because whether you realize it or not, you may have came off and not realized that you made your point where it was like, well, I may not think that they are a woman for this reason, and you might have said giving birth, and at that point, that person in their mind was like, yep, not going to tell this person I was born without a uterus, and you might have just slipped it out there, and you never knew it. But that's the
I
thing
can
about
say
these things.
I would never, like, as you can see right now, I just had a difficult time vocalizing that to her because I didn't want to offend her, telling her that she's not a woman,
I know.
So,
But Kate, here's the thing. So I know you say that you might not have said that, but realize something. Think about how many people are watching this right now. And even though you did second think it, you still said it without like
I'm
even
sorry
have
if
like
I
I know
offended
someone was like you
anyone.
still did it, but the point here is that even though you might not have been quote unquote comfortable, you still said it. That's the same thing as someone being like, and I'm going to put this in context for you. It's the same thing as someone trying to justify saying the N word. Just because someone goes, "Oh, you have the pass, you can say it," and then that person says it
Oh wait,
all
that's not the
willingly,
same thing though.
that
That's
it's
not the
the
same thing.
same, and that's the exact same concept as you then going and saying, "Nobody's telling me that they don't have a uterus, but I believe that anyone without a uterus is not a woman." So of course,
Okay, let
those
me
same
redirect
people
it
are
then.
not going to say that to you because guess what? They think that you don't think they're a woman. So obviously, they're not going to tell you if they were born that way. So that's the thing you have to realize is that you might not realize it, but you might do things that like even small things people will pick up on, and then they'll be like, "Nah, I'm not going to tell this person this about me because they're going to judge me and say I'm not a woman."
Okay. Y'all know this conversation is actually very eye-opening for myself. I will not hate the game at all because I realize I can be offensive and that's shitty, excuse my language. But I mean,
You're
okay.
realizing it because you're in a space where you're in this particular space, but when you're in other spaces where
And
you're
you're
just
not
like,
attacking me. You guys are not ripping me apart because of what I
no,
said. That's so great.
no, like Adora said in the beginning, we match energy. You're not attacking us, so there's no reason. There's no reason.
No, I would
But
never.
you're censoring your language to some extent right now because of the space you're in. Whereas
No,
when you're
I'm not.
not in
No,
this
I'm not. I
space,
can tell you right now, I don't walk around being
meaning
like,
you're meaning you're thinking twice about what you're saying. Like you didn't want to
because I
say
don't want to
something
hurt
before.
nobody's feelings. I've never
Right,
been
but
that
my
The
way.
point
people are more
is,
comfortable speaking authentically in these spaces than they are
yeah,
generally
no, I'm
out in the
not.
general world.
Yeah, in the general world, like outside of this space you're in right now, I don't think you're gonna think as much about what you're saying. You know, that's what Two Spirit was trying to say.
Oh, well, no, because these conversations where I'm from, if they happen, you get called transphobic and they don't listen to you, they don't hear you out, and they don't explain the
I'm going to give
differences
you.
like you guys are to me.
Can I give
You
you a
get
reason?
attacked.
Can I give you a reason though? So there's a reason. So you want to know why everybody up here is so patient? Understand that everybody up here deals with this daily. To even we put ourselves even more at an extreme than even like in a normal setting, because we're putting ourselves out here to hear it, and we're putting ourselves literally in the point of danger ourselves. Being where we're at and putting ourselves out here, okay? So we're
Well,
used to
good
it, so
for
you get a
you guys.
better
You guys are
reaction. But
badasses
it's
for
not good
that.
for us. It's not good for us because we shouldn't have to put ourselves in this position. Okay. And understand that, Kate, that's kind of coming from a point of privilege from your own self that you can say, good for you that you're doing this. But like, understand that a lot of us face life threatening things on a daily basis just because of who we are. So I want you to
That's
understand that. Like
bogus and very unfair.
there's literally laws in states that can actually have us put to death in roundabout ways just because of who we are. So I just want you to understand that. So like knowing that ahead of time, when you go around and like you're fine to have your views and stuff, but when like you use those views to justify it and be like kind of push it and not learn, which you are learning, and that's the best thing about this, and I'm so glad
And
you're
that's what
learning.
I'm doing. I promise.
And that's the best thing about this, and I love that fact that you are willing to learn, and I'm glad you are doing that. But like when you go in, don't try to justify it. Instead of coming in, just kind of like ask a question, learn from it, and instead of trying to justify your point of view, if you're actually wanting to learn, that's all I'm going to
Yeah.
ask from this situation. Is that if you're really wanting to learn, is instead of trying to justify like, oh, this is why I feel this way, ask why
Well,
it's
you
not
guys asked me
correct.
what my belief was and why I felt that way, and I explained it. That was my defense on that part.
Oh no, I'm
My
talking
only
about.
defense.
I'm
Guys,
talking about
I
back
hate
and
to
back
interject
and
here.
forth.
I'm kind of emotionally exhausted and I'm ready to end. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to end now. Thank you so much, Kate. Thank you, Hot Dog. Thank you, Two Spirit. Thank you, Mel.
Yeah, thank
Thank
Uh,
you,
you. I'm
appreciate
so
you
Andy.
all.
Yeah,
sorry
no
if I
problem.
offended anyone.
It's
Yeah.
perfect timing. I'm actually headed to dinner.
All right, awesome.
Have a
Enjoy.
I
good
think that was
evening.
a good conversation. I'm glad we had it. I hope you will continue to think on it.
Tell everybody we say
Always.
hello.
Every day. I'll think about it.
All right, fantastic. Everyone who
Thank
watched
you,
today,
baby.
thank you so
Have a
much.
good
We
one.
shattered records, absolutely shattered. 702 new followers, 185,000 views, 8.9 thousand simultaneous viewers, 368 gifters. Thank you so much, everyone. You guys are all absolutely amazing. Let's see, how many subscribers did we get?
20, 27 new subs. A reminder to everyone who is a sub, if you would like access to the Best Friend Squad Discord, the link is right down here. So if you click on this little star down here, there should be a link to the Discord. If that link doesn't work, copy paste the Discord invite into your browser, and that should take you right to the Discord. You will have to fill out a questionnaire. Hey, I get to do that now too. All right. All right. Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone. I appreciate you all, and I will see you. I'm sure I will see you many more times over the next few days. Definitely tonight as well. The schedule is obviously completely off while I'm on vacation. Who knows what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, but it's been an amazing conversation. Bye.